everyone, it's Margaret here to do a thrift shop haul. I've been shopping again, and I found a few little items that I wanted to share with you guys. I normally don't do haul videos, but I did find a few little things that I was thrilled about that I wanted to share. Now, first of all, I'd like to introduce you to, this is Barbara Streisand. No relation. I found Barbara in a thrift shop. She was sitting all alone, very lonely. Didn't look too good. Her dress was a little haggard, and she was just sitting there, and she caught my eye, and my eye happened to wander to her paw, and it said squeeze on off. So I said, okay, it's probably broken and she's not going to do much of anything. Well, much to my surprise, when I pushed her hand, she started to perform for me. Now, she's currently performing at Pillows and Pastimes. I dressed her up cabaret style, so she's all ready to perform for you. So just have a little listen to Barbara.
When marimba ribbons start to play, dance with me, make me sway. Like a lady ocean on the shore, hold me close, break the roar. Other dancers may be on the floor, dear, but my eyes will see only you.
Anyway, I'm in love with her. I had to have her, so she came home with me, and she's all decked out now and ready to perform. So anyway, let's move on with a few of the other little items that I found. This is a pretty little lace collar. Actually, when I bring home items from the thrift shop, they usually go right to the laundry, and then I take them apart so that they're ready to use. So this is very pretty, came off a lady's sweater, as you can see. And then I found this ruffly blouse, and I love the ruffles on this because not only is it pleated, but also ruffled. So a little bit unique. As you can see, it's got this pretty little interest to it, that it's pleated and ruffled at the bottom, as you can see. There's that one. And then I found this, I don't know what it is. It looks like a little shawl, but I love the lace of it. It's an antique, not antique, but vintage white lace. And then it was gathered at the bottom with these beautiful tassels on either side. So I think I'm going to use that as a runner in my craft room. So that's that. And then I found another shawl that had these beautiful ends to it, and they're crocheted, but as you can see, they've got some gorgeous shabby tassels on the end, and there were two of those from either side of the shawl, as you can see, and that will be really pretty to use. Now I found a few doilies. I'm finding harder and harder to find doilies, but anyway, these are nothing too fancy, but they're pretty. I got a couple of those. And then there was this pretty one that had the little raised rosettes at the bottom, which I love. And a couple of these little smaller ones that make nice little doily journals. And a bigger version of the same. And this one is kind of a netted bottom. Again, if you gather those into a ruffle, they make a really pretty piece for journals, pillows, whatever. And these I bought for the purpose of taking apart for the flowers. They have many little flowers on it, so I will snip those out and use them. And then these are really pretty. They're the Battenberg lace in a round style, and I've got several of those. And then this is another vintage runner again. I just love this particular type of lace. It's so shabby and tattered looking, but it's really pretty. As you can see, the ends are a little tattered, but I love that. So And that's in a nice creamy color. And then I found this gorgeous vintage lace. It'll probably look really peachy on the video, but in actual fact, it's almost like a fleshy peachy color, but really, really pretty. If you put a cream colored lining underneath, that looks really, really pretty. There's that one. And then I found a couple of these crocheted squares. Now, I'm not fond of the color, but the work in this is just exquisite. And I know there are a lot of ladies out there so talented who do crocheting. I'm sure you've seen this pattern before, but my grandmother left behind a large piece of crocheting that had a lot of these similar rosettes in it. And I'm keeping that one. It's my treasure. So, but this one here I kept because we do have a relative in the family who does crocheting, and she can actually replicate almost anything you give her. So I'm going to give her that and see if she can make me a few of these squares, maybe in an ivory or off-white color. I tried to bleach this out, but it didn't budge. So sometimes you can strip the color if you just add a little bleach in a bit of soapy water, but nope, this one didn't work. So I will keep that as a sample. And then I found a vintage wedding dress. It's already taken apart, but it had these gorgeous appliques on it. Some roses and some little leaves and trims. But as you can see, the roses have this little pocket in it. So it's dimensional and it's really, really pretty. So I got a whole bag out of that. Now that one cost me $14.99, but it is vintage. So I thought it's well worth to have a few of these in my stash. So I picked those up. And then I have a couple of little ruffled, these are from little children's skirts, little ruffle skirt here in a beautiful ivory. Then there's one in this pretty rose. So I never pass these up because I do use a lot of ruffles. And this is particularly pretty. Again, it was from a child's skirt, but it is in a gorgeous dusty rose, and then it's got a row of these beautiful rosettes on the bottom, and underneath it's got a pleated ruffle again, and it's quite large. I took it all apart, so that will go a long way. And then some odds and sods in the box here, but you may remember my my powder puff box and journal that I did a few months back. Remember I had mentioned that I was going crazy trying to find a powder puff. Couldn't find one. Anyway, found this one at Goodwill. It was in a box. Look at that. It's just ready to go. I'm going to snip that bow off of it. And I want to keep it actually. I don't know if I'm going to use it, but it was in the box. And so I thought, there you go. When you're not looking for things, that's when you're going to find it. Then I found some rolls of seam binding. Now, I have purchased seam binding in yellow and bright blues and all different colors. What I do is I do soak them for a few hours in some soapy water with bleach, and it does strip the color. So I have oodles of seam binding now ready to be colored and ready to be used. So that's my seam binding. So if you find seam binding, don't pass it up. You can bleach it out if you don't like the color. I've done it many, many times before. So that's that. And I'm nuts about vintage bags. Some of these are vintage, some are not. This one is, I found again in a thrift shop. It's a beautiful white beaded sequined little bag. Needs some little minor repairs, which I will do. I'll just stitch that back up again. And then I found this little tiny, I guess, coin purse, whatever you want to call it, or makeup bag. This is definitely vintage. It is a little discolored, but it has these beautiful ivory-ish pearls on it with a little bit of rhinestones, and I just love it. It's in pretty good shape, so I grabbed that. And then I have another vintage bag. This one's in black, but I do have a few weddings coming up, so I want to alter this and really jazz it up and see what I can come up with. This is definitely vintage again, and I love the shape of it. And of course, black is good for, you know, for evening events. So that's that one. And this is a beautiful brown, which will look gorgeous with some pink, pinkish flowers and trims. It's a vintage styling, but it's not vintage. It's got a lot of beads in it. I may or may not keep the beads on it, but that's ready to be altered. And then I have this little vintage pouch that I found. Now, again, I wasn't crazy about the color. It's in gold and peach. But when I opened it up, I saw a little piece of lace sticking out. When I opened it up, I found this gorgeous hanky in it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I usually find these at antique markets or vintage markets, and they're quite expensive. And this one even still has the tag on it. It's just beautiful, gorgeous embroidery, and it was just tucked away in this bag. So that was a bonus. And believe it or not, I got this for $1.99. So that's that. And then I purchased this one. Again, it's not vintage, but it's got a beautiful rhinestone crest on it here with the closure. And again, I will keep that and I will use it. I don't know if I can alter it or I will alter it, but that's another one that I really loved because of the rhinestones on it. I picked up a couple of layered multi-strand pearl necklaces, again at a thrift shop. I love this one. It's got 4 strands of gorgeous pearls, not too white, vintage of course, and that's that one. I love to put that on my little dress form in my craft room. And then this one again is another one, 3 strands of pearls. Again, it's vintage, and a little bit smaller beads on that one. And last but not least, I'm saving this for last because it was a real score. It was the highlight of my week. At a vintage shop, they had maybe a dozen wedding dresses, a lot of them new, never worn, but tucked underneath one of the new ones, I found an old vintage dress. Now, the satin on it was really, really stained. It had a lot of large brown stains on it. But when I opened it up, the train, I was surprised to find that it was just plastered in appliques. Now, when I say plastered, I have been working all week dissecting and picking and taking them apart, and I'm telling you, I did not waste one. It was easy to take apart because the stitching, it was machine stitched, but the stitches were large, so they were easy to take apart. It was just time consuming. My hands are totally sore, but I just wanted to show you what they look like. They are absolutely gorgeous. Every single applique has 2 clusters of pearls, and the sequins are crystal clear, gorgeous, shiny, and I'm telling you, there's tons and tons and tons of them. I have never seen a wedding dress. It must have taken the seamstress forever to make this dress, but when I say I can't even lift this bag, it's so heavy, just jam-packed with them. And look at some of these. There were quite a few of these larger ones on the dress. Again, all beautifully embroidered in pearls and crystal clear sequins. I've got several of these, like tons and tons and tons of them, ladies. I just couldn't believe my luck. Just look at them. So anyway, and not only that, but the color is just perfect. It's a little discolored, so there's no tea or coffee staining required. They're just ready to go, unless I want to avocado dye a few of them just to get a little bit of a pink color out of them. But anyway, it was a good week. I had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed the haul, and see you again very soon. Bye for now.